today we're going to go into some fairly serious stuff, so appreciate you paying attention today. Before we do that, I just want to thank everyone who came to our Anxiety Awareness Night last night. Great turnout. Really good presentation from the Deseret News, and the video was excellent, so thank you for doing that. And then also I just have an announcement to make that yesterday Senator Lee's office came down and talked with me about presenting at a statewide summit that's going to be held up in the Vivint Center, or the old Delta Center, where we're going to share some of our experiences with positive in the present and the effect that it can have on people. So we're excited about that. I've reserved 5 buses to take students up. They want as many students as we can get up there, and we'll wear our One of Us shirts and go up and represent, and they'll put us right in the middle at the front of the Delta of the Vivint Center and let us kind of share what we're doing and recognize your efforts. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be a cool thing. Today we're going to talk about safety plans. Actually, I sent an email out at 10 o'clock. I hope everyone got the email that has a electronic copy of this safety plan that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to throw one up on the screen as we go a little bit. So there are 4 basic parts of that. So we're going to have Mr. Hughes talk about those 4 things. So the first thing is try to identify those things that might cause you to get into a tailspin, into that dark area where we need some plans. So share with us kind of what those triggers might be.
So triggers, warning signs. It's all kind of in my history and work with people with addiction. There's always triggers. You look for something that is going to send you back. And the key thing to remember here is it's not something that happens overnight. Triggers are gradual. Something will happen. So there's always something you can kind of trace back to. Okay, this is my first thing that, maybe I talked to this person when I knew I shouldn't have, because my last run, when I talked with them, it ended poorly. Okay, and so that's kind of the big thing, is that just those triggers. Identify. That's the first step, because if you can identify them, then you can move on to the next step, which is the coping strategies.
So one of the things that I've noticed, and I think Mr. Hughes will back us up on this, is that oftentimes it's not one trigger that will really send you into a big tailspin. But those who get really depressed, even get to that suicidal tendency thought kind of thing, most of the time it's a combination of multiple things that just keep adding up, and all of a sudden you're at the bottom of a hole and you don't know how to get out. And so that's the kind of thing that we're talking about. So we've talked about some coping strategies throughout the week. Last night at our Anxiety Awareness Night, they gave a couple others, so I'm going to have Mr. Hughes just kind of go through some coping strategies. And as you get this form and fill it out, I think it's important that you recognize what works for you. So share with us some coping strategies.
Okay, so we've gone over the breathing, the 4-7-8 technique. Should we run that? Should we do that real quick?
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
Okay, everyone in here want to participate?
Here we go.
All right, here we go. So we're going to breathe in, for 4 seconds. You hold it for 7, and then you blow it out for 8 seconds. Okay, so here we go. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now slowly start blowing it all out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can repeat this. That's just one coping strategy that gets you kind of in the moment, right? Positive in the moment. Okay, another one is just focusing on, think of your happy place, right? Where's this, if you're in a bad place, think of the last time you had fun. Think of maybe a loved one you like being with. Try to focus on anything but the problem. Another one that we learned last night with the Angst movie, different strategies is, one, you can put your hand out and kind of focus on the hand, and then kind of go beyond the hand. Just kind of helps your focus on something else. Another, tensing. They talked about, you squeeze your hand, squeeze your fist, you tense, right, and you kind of release one, release your fingers. So there's a lot of different strategies, so you got to find out what works for you. What's going to work for you when that trigger hits, and you need to just to kind of get out of that funk, right? And so once again, identify that trigger. So now it's like, okay, this is a red flag. what should I do? Then you move on to your coping strategies. So there's so many of them, but you got to find out what works for you. And we'll be talking about that as the year goes on, more strategies and just different options that you can do. And maybe one of them will stick and it'll work for you, and you got to hold on to that, because if it works once, it's going to work again.
So one of the things they talked about last night is if you get in a bad spot, find someone to talk to. So on our safety plan, there's two different sections. We only got about a minute left, so we'll kind of tie those together. Is that you have to have people that you can contact. So on our safety plan, we have two different ones. Who can you contact outside of school, and who can you contact inside of school? So we'd like you want to go with that? You want me just to run?
Yeah, just run with it.
Okay.
Can we get it up on the screen?
Yeah, can we get that up on the screen now? So there's the safety plan. That's the one that I sent out to you. So we're looking now at the bottom part where people that I can call for help. Right there, good. People that you can call for help, name, phone numbers, and then who can you contact here at school if you get into trouble. And so please talk to people. Have in mind who you want to do, write it down, and then talk to them so they know. Like if you put me down as one of your people that you want to talk to at school, and then I want to know that if you come in, this is serious stuff. Okay, I'm going to drop whatever I'm doing, or I'm going to get you to somebody else that can help you. So those are the kind of things that we're looking for here. Mr. Hughes, got anything else?
And it's so important. Have those people that you can trust, that you love, I have friends now that we build that, and I know when I'm in a funk, I can call them up and I can say, hey, what's going on? Or they know that, hey, you know what, I haven't heard from them for a bit. They'll call me up and see what's going on. So people, it's so important to have that list. It's your safety plan.
Awesome. Thanks for all you're doing, and go Skyhawks.